Hi, hello, this is Jules the Human here, and welcome to the Jules and Matt Anime Hour. I'm one of your hosts, Jules the Human, and every week we go out into the world and watch a little bit of anime, and then we come back here and talk about it. And today is the final day for Bakemonogatari. We're done. Got the crowd applause there. We're finally done with Bakemonogatari. We're going to talk about it. We're going to give our rating, and we're going to pick a brand new anime from the list here. If you would like to give 500 bits and get an anime on the chest, you can do that during the live show here on twitch.tv/JulesTheHuman. You can do that anytime we're live with the show, and that would go to both me and Matt, and both of us get some of that, and you get your anime of choice put into the hat. And we are going to pick one at the end of the show, but we got to get through this one. Matt, my very beautiful co-host, how are you doing this week? What's up,
Whew,
Jules?
I'm feeling fatigued. That was a drain, just like some of the situations we see in the last couple episodes. I feel like this show latched onto a part of me and just drained me for everything.
Well, I mean,
Like
yeah, like a vampire, right?
like a vampire.
Yeah.
It just drained all the energy from me trying to get through this show, and I'm happy to I'm happy to say that like I gave it my attention. I can come out the other side of this saying that I fully well know my opinion on this series for what it presents in these 12 episodes. I mean,
We watched
that's all
it.
there
I
is to
mean,
it.
I watched every minute of it, and yeah, we're still in the minority because from what I'm hearing, Matt, you did not like this very much.
I was
Um
not a fan of
I did not
this
like this
show.
either, but it seems to be that we are in the very small minority of people that don't understand it, don't get it, don't really want, I guess middle school etchy stuff on their TV, I guess. I don't know, but it's fine, I guess. We are the few among many here on Crunchyroll. But we're going to rate it. Also, there's a rating from y'all as well. We had the addition now for this season 2, that you would be able to vote. We did get some votes, and that's going to be added and tabulated into the final score for this anime. But we got to get through it. They're crunching the numbers back there. We're trying to figure it out.
Um yeah. Yeah. We got to
Well,
get into it.
um, well, first off, I guess like uh, basic content warning about stuff. I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean that's the thing about this show. There's just there's sporadic content warnings far throughout them, and for this one, I don't even know. It gets like borderline content warning, like incest type stuff.
sure.
Um, it starts to tread lines into that territory. Um, shall we begin with
Let's
episode
go.
9?
What happened in episode 9, Nadeko Snake Part 1?
So Araragi and uh my
Kanbaru?
Kanbaru, thank you, make their way up to a shrine to place a talisman for Mr. Oshino when a girl who Araragi would later recognize as Sengoku, a friend of his younger sister. Kanbaru becomes lightheaded as Araragi places the talisman, then finding Kanbaru at a tree adorned with a dismembered snake, drawing the conclusion it was Sengoku that left it there. Araragi seeks counsel from Hanekawa, who reminds him that the shrine belongs to a snake deity, leading him to conclude it was evidence of occult practices. After also counseling him on his chumminess with Kanbaru with Senjo Gahara in mind. Hanekawa quickly departs as she begins to have a headache. Araragi then sees Sengoku in the occult section in the library. Araragi asks Kanbaru to meet him back at the shrine so they can confront Sengoku together, where she immediately recognizes Araragi. Sengoku's history with Araragi flashes past us as everyone is brought to Araragi's room, where Sengoku shows Araragi and Kanbaru that she's covered in markings that look like the scales of a snake.
Huh. So it's got a cute little intro. It's got that one song
It's got that one song.
It's got that one song that was like,
Now
oh, I know this
now
song.
it's ruined.
Whatever it was, I was like, oh, that's from the TikToks. I know where that song's from. Cute little intro. I mean, yeah, it's cool. Hello, Claire. How's it going? It's almost over. The end is in sight. Yes, I will feel very relieved after this episode, and not that takes nothing away from Matt or the show we produce. It's just the anime. Cute little intro. I liked it. I like the song. I mean, that's what they've been doing, these short little story things. And like, it's not even that I'm mad at the style in which they're doing it. Like, I totally enjoy little short stories. I enjoy reading like
Yeah.
all little things happening, and I'm like, oh, this is really cool. Let me see what they're trying to tell us. Let's do this. And I wouldn't be opposed to an anime that does something like this, where they have the same main characters, and then he goes through a couple of things, goes through one story, goes through another story, goes through another story. It's just the means that they do it is
Yes.
very odd.
It's we if you the show presents us with a protagonist who I guess is supposed to be a masochist and is, just basically given a harem of all of the dere types, but
Hmm.
the I guess the uncomfortable part is just the way everything's presented in the context of all the situations.
Hmm.
At least that's for me what I find things being uncomfortable and when it pulls me out of the show, because it's not that it's a talkie that I don't like this show. I can acknowledge the fact that the dialogue is quick-witted and stuff like that at times, but it's at other times wholly off-putting. And again, context of situations and such just lead me to just not enjoying it,
Not
not
have a good
enjoying it,
time
not
because
having a
like
good time.
because like the mountain snakes and like placing a talisman, like getting them into the situation, I was like, okay, I'm fine with that. Cool. Ritualistic snakes, something happening, that whole like sort of style of story, I'm like, okay, I'm here for that, and I'm totally down for that. And then we get some, I don't know if we do like a flashback on this episode, I think it was in the next one, but we get a flashback to how he actually knows this young girl. Oh, even before that, they had that whole thing in the library
Yeah,
about how he's just so cool with everybody and he'll do whatever. And then homegirl just kind of almost kisses him and like is being kind of weird and
yeah.
sort of out of character.
Well,
And I'm
yeah, I
like,
mean, I think that, like, it felt a little out of character for sure, but I think it was just supposed to push that fact forward that even though he's supposed to be in a romantic relationship with Senjo Gahara, we're supposed to believe that he's just oblivious to the obvious advances of like all the other girls around him, because
mhm,
every other character, save Mr. Osino, is a girl.
yeah. And that sort of undresses in front of him
We
or
almost
kisses
got to
him.
the end of an episode with a female character being introduced without him seeing their underwear or just seeing them
We
completely
were this
naked. We were
close.
that close, but put another tally on the board. I mean,
So yeah, I'm cool with like
uh,
the style, like the story would be cool, and then they get this whole explanation about how Sengoku was friends with his sister, Aragi's sister, and how they used to hang out kind of a lot when they were younger. And then they turn around and she's naked, and I'm like, okay, cool, that's great. I
and again,
mean,
like, it's supposed to be for narrative purposes that, she has these scale marks and stuff, but
mhm,
for the first 2 or 3 shots after they show her, she doesn't even have the scales on her anyway,
true.
because again, it's supposed to be played up for fan service or for comedic relief as to
Mhm.
the timing. Either way you swing that, I'm just sitting there like, "What?"
Yeah. And it's also like how much they push that they are a young child, like in the last one where they mentioned that this what was the other girl's name? I already got her off of my the one that was a ghost. I already forgot her
Yeah.
name. The one that was a
Hachikuji.
ghost, Hachikuji, they made it such a big deal that she was a middle school girl, and then with this one they made it such a big deal that she was younger and that all this stuff, and then we see her naked and I'm like, what are we doing? Why is this thing? Claire says that opening 60 seconds of panties might have actually been the best part of the whole thing. You know what? Going back to past Jules, if only he knew what would come
I
from all
mean,
of
you
this.
really said, "All right, this is it. We're doing this
Yeah.
one. We're doing one of these."
Yeah, because it was like, okay, panties, cool. All right, I got to get my mindset right. But then now here, I'm like, oh no, what have
Yeah.
we done? Where have
Yep.
we gone?
Where have we gone? Oh,
um,
how far we've come.
We see the snake stuff on her body, and then they talk and stuff, and then we get the part 2, episode 10, Nautical Snake part 2. What happens in episode 10?
Ooh, excuse me.
Oof.
Um, Osino explains the apparition attacking Sengoku is a snake apparition. When Sengoku learned of this, she began to research how to lift the curse. However, she executed the procedures incorrectly and at a place where the strength of the spirits were being enhanced. So Adaragi and Kanbaru lead Sengoku to the shrine where they attempt to exorcise the snake apparition until they realize the one apparition is actually two. This makes Adaragi throw down with the second one against Osino's advisement, and the snake manages to get away, going after the one who would have placed the curse on Sengoku. All's well that ends well, I guess. Except for that one guy who's gonna get
Why? Yeah.
screwed over by a snake.
Why is this like so mid? Like it's not even like okay, nothing happened. Nothing happened. The large snake is squeezing her. Scales get lifted. Oh, we have two snakes. Oh no. And then he sort of decides, well, he doesn't decide. I guess he's forced to save the right person, who they're saying is there's a right person,
Yeah,
because who cares about the other guy that it's going after?
yeah.
And it's like
Well, I guess I so for me, that's the show trying to say, the whole idea, if you curse somebody, dig two graves. So in this scenario, the person who was innocent who got cursed, in order to lift the curse from them, it would put the curse giver at risk. And even though Araragi is the person who would throw himself immediately to in front of something to try to save somebody else in this particular situation, like Oshino said, you can't just run after everything trying to save everybody. Things
true.
kind of will sometimes get in over your head. So that's him having to accept that. But again, it happens to somebody who's off screen and who we don't even have any presence of. So it
that
ultimately to the audience doesn't feel like anything happens.
that's what I'm saying. Why that's why I meant like by mid, by like, okay, it's just explained off screen. There's
Yeah.
nothing, there's no real
Somebody
weight
gets
to it.
off screen by a snake, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, that guy's dead. We never saw him, but like it could have been so much more than, her again just there thriving on the ground, making noises and stuff again for fan service. And then it's just and then nothing happened. He fights with the snake kind of, and then it's like, okay, cool. She's added to the group. Come
Yeah.
on to the party. There's like not enough for me. There's not
Nope.
enough of anything. What is
Yep.
it? What are you
Again,
doing?
and then this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens, and it's not, and because this happens, and because that happened, this happens. It's just concerned with like, all right, here's the next thing, next thing, next thing.
And
And
it's not even
everything
like
isn't really coming together, you know.
yeah, and it's not even like I want one overarching thing like, "Oh, this guy was behind the whole thing," or "This guy was behind all these things." It's just like I want some more, something that's taken in more than just a character taken to the next episode, like
Mhm.
more than just them being added to the group. I want some character change or me to get behind somebody because I don't care about anybody. I don't care about any of these characters. I really don't. And they're not making a good case for
The
anybody.
character that I'm set up to kind of want to care about, and the relationship I'm set up to want to care about, is Araragi and Senjo Gahara. And these two episodes just completely drop Senjo
Where
Gahara
did
for she just disappears.
I thought I was going crazy because I was like, wait, this is still Kanbaru, right? I was like, this is Kanbaru this whole time. And he's like, I need you, Kanbaru. I need you to be there with me because I need a whatever, whatever. Like, where's Senju Gahara? We had this whole half most of the show,
Yeah,
you bringing us this character and having to try and build this connection to each other in our eyes. And then
but
you
now
just
we're
don't
getting
show
more
her.
of this character that's been introduced as late as episode would that be episode 7. So now we're just episode a character that gets introduced in episode 7 has replaced our episode 1 character as the person playing off of our main character. I don't know.
Like what it why? What was that? Would that have
To rotate
changed?
to rotate the harem.
I guess to gain
That's
experience throughout the team, I guess. They need to equip one so that
uh
she can get experience. Like it's just so odd. And I scrounge the comments. I go through the Crunchyroll comments every single time to see like what am I missing? Why is everybody like, oh my god, this is amazing? Every single comment is just like, I just want to watch it again. This is so great. And I'm like, what? All I see is just nothing. It's so plain and there's just too much. I don't even know if it's too much fan service. Like I don't really care about it, but like it's just the way that it sets it up.
yeah,
It's just
it's the way it's presented in the context of it. That's how I am taking it. It all lies in the context.
mhm. But by the end of this episode, we're going to be picking a brand new anime. We're going to be doing that. Stan fan service from Modified TJ Fox. I mean, I'm cool with it. I don't care. I'm fine with it. Just don't set up the girl in their underwear to be a middle school child and and our main character Araki is like having literally saying he's having dirty thoughts about her.
And
I'm
it's
just
like
like,
I don't care if it's the other girl in the room that set him up to do that. I don't care. Like it's just not funny. It's not
yeah,
providing anything to the story.
yeah, it's just
It's
weird.
weird.
And again, like I
It's
said in last episode, I don't see a time unless I was in middle school or high school or something and I was watching this, I'd be like, oh, he, because they're like my age, quote
Yeah,
unquote.
again, this came
But
out
like,
10 years ago. I'm 26 right now.
yeah,
27,
I'm old
26,
as
I
well.
forget. And I can't imagine being 16, 17 watching this and thinking that this is funny. I'm 16, 17 watching this thinking, "Oh my god, if somebody else is to watch this, I can understand why they think that people that watch anime are weird if this is
Sure.
all that they have to go on."
Sure. If somebody was like, "Oh, you haven't watched anime before? Watch this one, dude." Hell yeah. And they'll be like, "Whoa, I'm done with anime. Is this the one? This is anime?" No, I'm good. I'm old. Yeah, I mean, I just had a birthday not too long ago and I am old. um we go on
Excuse me.
and we go to something totally different. Again, that whole ties up loose ends, tied all the knots, everything's done. We get into episode 11, Tsubasa Cat, part 1, which is going to have a great ending, I'm sure.
Tsubasa Cat Part 1, another content warning tag for this episode. This one's going to be domestic violence. So Araragi and Hanekawa chat about Hanekawa's problems at home with her emotionally unavailable and physically abusive parents, partially giving their actions justifications. Araragi runs into Sengoku returning Kanbaru's borrowed clothing and how Shinobu was side eyeing her, running away once Hanekawa shows up. Hanekawa explains to Tadadagi that there are rumors spreading around about him being a negative influence on Senjo Gahara and gives him some advice before she starts to get a headache, which reminds him of the previous year when a cat apparition took her over, trying to satiate her stress, running rampant in the streets, attacking people, and it wasn't until Shinobu showed up and drained the energy from her that she returned to normal.
To get off topic for a little bit, Claire did ask, what would you recommend for someone who's never seen any, though? That's a good question. I mean, if y'all have any suggestions as well, to anybody that's watching, what's an anime that you would suggest to somebody that says, hey, I want to get into anime. What do I watch?
I would ask
Um,
them what their favorite types of movies are first,
sure.
and
That's a
then I
good
would
thing.
give them a suggestion based on that. Like that's the thing. Anime is a medium. It's not a genre. It's not to fit into one particular niche. And
Sure.
so that's where I stop sometimes and want to give the show benefit of the doubt for the genre, I guess you could say that this kind of finds itself falling into, but just even still, I just find it a lot of the show to be in very bad taste. I
Hmm.
don't know how to put it other than that. It's down to the context of a lot of the situations that were happening. A lot of rewriting could make this show palatable. I don't know if that would make it good or a masterpiece like a lot of the other parts of the internet seem to think that it is, but at least in my eyes, but at least it would be palatable. But so much of this is just like nails against a chalkboard to me that I can't.
Mhm.
I'm I'm effectively uncomfy watching this show.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, if they said that's a good thing to ask them about what movies they like first off, and then or like what kind of content they like
Yeah.
because I find myself depending on what I am in the mood for, I'll be like, I because I have a lot of manga now. I have a lot that I haven't read as well. And Sakamoto days, I've been flying through that. I'm on
Mhm.
manga number 7, I think, and Sakamoto Days is fantastic. My favorite manga right now. But sometimes I don't want that little stuff. I don't want the little action, funny stuff. I'm like, I want to go more into something else. So like I take a break and depending on how I feel. So I would say like I don't know. I mean, yeah, last night I'm rewatching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood because Caitlin hasn't watched it, so we started episode 1. I'm like, man, it really threw me. I was like, this is what a good anime is supposed to be like because I love Full Metal. I love all both of them. I've seen them both through. I think I've seen Brotherhood twice. But like after watching this anime, I'm just like, oh my god, this characters cool. Okay, characters I enjoy, fun, but like something I know that's like the token thing to say Full Metal Alchemist, but I really do enjoy it. It's a great story and it's 60 episodes. It's fun for something smaller. I don't know. Actually, okay, out of season 1, Matt, if somebody said, "Hey, I want to watch a great anime," which one would it be? Would it be the one we put as the best anime, Kaguya-sama?
Like, if we're saying that, you can watch it in we were like, I would say yes, because also it's a good anime to experience in dubbed of the, um because it's comedy, and like we said,
Sure.
a lot of comes down to the timing and the delivery and stuff like that when it comes to comedy, and I feel like that was and, comedy is very subjective, but I just feel like that it was constantly throwing new joke after new
Mhm.
joke, that if something didn't land, it was already setting up another joke, and it's got enough of those, like, light romantic overtones that eventually turn into a much greater story, and that's what, like, this was lacking to me, is that the chemistry between Senja Gahara and Araragi just never really feels like it gets there for the emotional payoff that the show tries to give us by episode 12. I'm just not in a place where I feel like they're real people or real characters,
Sure.
whereas I watch something like Kaguya-sama, and by the end of it, like, I'm bought into those characters and
Mhm.
their relationship with each other.
Claire says, I'm leaning towards Lupin the Third as it works with no setup or cultural information. You very quickly have the context and it's fun. I would also say One Punch Man is a good anime for just somebody that just wants some cool action. If you have a friend that's just like, I just want some wild fights and just want to watch people just fuck each other up. Record of Ragnarok, it's so dumb. I love it. It's great.
No,
It's a
yeah,
great
like, I
anime.
mean, there's so much good stuff out there, and I mean, yeah, if we're putting it into the niche or the bubble of what we watched last season, I would definitely say Kaguya-sama would be, like, my first recommend, but outside of that, it really becomes expansive as to what you can recommend. It's like, you could even say, it's like,
Is
oh my
Castlevania
goodness.
an anime?
Castlevania, some would consider it an anime, some
I like
have
that one really
not,
well.
because some have gone on record saying any anime produced by Netflix isn't a real anime, but,
Yeah, I like
I'm
what you
sorry,
said as well. Yeah, I liked what you said as well about the dubbed stuff because Kaguya-sama is a great one to watch in English. And like my dad would never watch an anime or anything like that, but it he loved One Piece, the Netflix show. So like I love that, whatever anybody's opinion are, I really enjoy seeing Netflix branching out and making good anime adaptations finally.
yeah,
Because I heard a lot of good things about One Piece, Yu Yu Hakusho apparently is really good as well. So the only
I've
thing that
heard
had
some
to
things about
die
Yu Yu Hakusho.
the only thing that
Haven't
had to
watched it
die
myself
was
yet.
the Death Note movie, which is horrible. So if the Death
And
Note movie got
the
us One
Cowboy
Piece.
Bebop, I mean,
Oh, what was that?
the Cowboy
Oh,
Bebop, yeah.
Oh,
I was,
okay. Well, we
we
got
don't need to
two.
talk about it. We don't
We
need
got two. And Avatar is pretty good. Anyways, back to this. I just don't want to talk about this anime.
uh,
I bring it up.
uh,
So we get
we're almost there.
the whole strained relationships with her parents. Apparently they're gone. So she's staying with somebody else. There's a new intro in this one. It was okay. Again, some nudity, and I'm
And
like,
again, like the
okay,
show just can't help but break its own like continuity or its own rules where we get a new intro for this one, and then for the next episode we go back to the first intro and completely drop the Tsubasa Cat arc. I am still befuddled and just
I love it.
completely confused by
Oh, I love it.
that.
It's so bad, man. Because we get in this episode, Tsubasa Cat Part 1, Episode 11, Hanakawa is possessed by a cat, essentially. Her head hurts. She has multiple personalities. It's a Sawari Neko caused by stress, and her first two victims were her parents, we find out. And we get all this backstory about her condition, about what happened, and then we just don't do anything with it. It's just
Yep.
kind of there. What was this? What was this about?
After he brought up the fact Osino made the connection of the cat being like uh bi bipolar disorder or multiple personalities disorder, whatever.
Yeah.
That's when it clicked that, to me, the, Araragi is the author self-inserting, and it's just him going around meeting a bunch of girls with what's it called? A bunch of girls with like different stress and
Disorders, I guess.
disorders, mental disorders of different varieties, and being the I can fix her guy, and then just adding her to his collection. That's what the show is, and this was that screaming it to me just like as loudly as it possibly could. That's all I got from that.
Because you're right, it doesn't do anything with it.
It
It
doesn't do
doesn't
anything
go
with it.
anywhere. It tells us what happens, and we got to go off of what we got. I know there's three other episodes. There's 13, 14, and 15 that may explain everything, that can make it an amazing anime, but we're never going to watch them because that's not what's on Crunchyroll.
The
We got to
show
wait till
really
the 12th.
sets up a situation of child abuse and then just goes, "No,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah, which I mean
ah."
isn't a great thing, but it's a premise. It's a premise for something that, well, I'm not the biggest fan of it. It could have been something, and
Yeah.
it could have been, I guess,
But
interesting about how
it's not giving it any weight. It's not giving it any gravity. It's not handling it with any sort of tact.
because
It's
we
just
also, yeah, we just find out this stuff in the beginning, and then by the end it makes the thing. Like, by the beginning we find out that she's not with her parents, that her parents are dead, and it's like, okay, by the end of the episode we find out she was the one that killed him. Okay, I mean that could have been like a cool 3 episode thing, to lead up to it, or it could have been something else. I don't know. So that's episode 11, and then we get the cutest episode ending because this is the end. And how does it end, Matt? Episode 12, Tsubasa Cat Part 2, by the way. Tsubasa Cat Part 2.
Araragi and Senjo Gahara go on their first date with her dad as their chaperone. They depart to an unknown location where banter is exchanged until they arrive at their destination. Senjo Gahara leaves Araragi and her dad alone for a moment where Araragi is thanked for the impact that he's had on Senjo Gahara, who then returns to take Araragi to a spot in a clearing to stargaze. She shares that she has now given him everything, and they share an implied kiss to end the episode.
They don't even kiss on screen, bro. They
The kiss
hold
got off
hands.
screened.
Oh my god,
And
cucked
that truly
again.
was
12
a
episodes.
Bakemonogatari.
They go on their first date. Fuck everything that happened in episode 11. Fuck all that. We're going on a date. We're doing it. And then we go back to the original intro. Even though the episode clearly says Tsubasa Cat Part 2, even though in the original intro now it says Tsubasa Cat as well, has nothing to do with a cat. Breaks the whole mold. Uh,
So mad.
um,
I'm so mad.
why? Why is this?
What is this show doing? Crunchyroll. Was there more? Did you edit that wrong? What's going on? I need answers. Actually, no, I don't. That's episode 12. That's the end.
Yeah,
Let's not bookmark it. Let's not leave the tab open. Period. Close the other side of the book. Puts it back on shelf. Never opens it again.
this
Oh
whole
my
episode was just
god.
so odd coming from all the other stuff. Her father's chaperoning. I mean, in a vacuum, sure. This whole thing, her dad finally, like, telling his whole story, because we don't know anything about the dad until now, telling his whole
No
story,
build up.
and no build up to what impact it could have had.
Every adult character other than Mr. Oshino has just been words on the screen, and then all of a sudden another adult character fucking exists. I
And in a nutshell, that was good. That was cool. That was fine, I guess. But again, no build up, no nothing. And then what preceded it, or what came surrounded it, was this whole other conversation in the car with them two talking. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I think I was most mad about me wasting my time, because none of this stuff matters. All of this, them talking about life. Do you love me? Do you this? What about this? And making him uncomfortable by touching his leg. It doesn't matter. Why? And I wanted to ask the question, because in some anime, I consider some stuff not to matter. I would have to be in a pretty decent mood to watch or read sort of like a slice of life anime or slice of life manga. And I have to be in a certain mood to be like, oh, I just want to live in this little world and have these little characters vibe and stuff. So I want to ask, why is this not a good slice of life anime? Because they're giving us those vibes, but I just don't care and none of it matters. So why
excuse
is
me.
this not a good depiction, especially in this last episode? Because like I told you before the episode started, I just felt like we were in the car forever. We were
Yeah.
just there in the car. And sometimes if you have compelling stuff like what we talked about in Odd Taxi, how they're just in the car most of the time, it's great. I'm okay. We're moving plot, we're learning new stuff. But why is this not a good depiction of what a slice of life, quote unquote, could be?
Well, I don't know if Odd Taxi is the best comparison to make
Sure.
as a slice of life
I just said
aspect,
because they were in the car together.
for the car talking aspect, I can say it's because that in Odd Taxi, every conversation that's going on, there's like this game of like chess going on where everybody knows a little bit of info, but they don't know other things, and it's like you're watching on screen, just like watching tension build as all of these different conversations go up and all of these different like intersections start to kind of like come together. So it's always interesting because it's always a different angle that's being built on for every conversation, and there's stakes relating to the conversations, and the stakes have been clearly conveyed to the audience, so you know what's at risk and what the characters are, they're what's on the line and stuff. But here we just have a situation where there's really absolutely zero stakes from what the show is set up, other than that's her dad right there, and it doesn't really set up the stakes. It's just kind of like a more of an observation on Araragi, and then Senjo Gahara keeps continuing to like bring him into it, and it's supposed to be played for laughs, but it's for me it's just falling flat. And so that's where I would say that
Uh,
it differs from Odd Taxi in the talking element. Where it differs from being a good slice of life, again, it's the fact that it tries to juggle all of these heavy subject matter, but then it doesn't really give the time to and respect, from what I can see, to flesh out those situations and really have the like talking points go off with the weight and levity that they deserve to be handled, because at the same time the show is concerned at making you laugh because this guy just grabbed somebody's boob.
Mhm.
So that's why in my eyes it doesn't work as a slice of life because like it gets back to the it being a muddled combination of too many different things, and ultimately, in my eyes, nothing is adding to the other elements of the show. It's all of these different elements of the show that are operating in their own pockets, and most of those pockets are things that I just don't enjoy. So the small pocket of things that I do enjoy, I'm just not able to enjoy them because they are sandwiched between all of this stuff that I consider gross and off-putting.
But why is everybody in the Crunchyroll comments just commenting on this last episode about how much they love their relationship together and about how this is so amazing and it's just the best love story? I don't I'm just I think I'm dumb. What are we missing? What's going on? Because them not even kissing on screen and her
I
it's
think Claire
so
said it I think Claire put it best last week when they said, "Sometimes the internet just doesn't know the difference between amazing and awful."
yeah. And they said, "Is this in this? We just need one stake to drive through its heart." It's yeah, so much hashtag fake deep in here that doesn't, and it really,
And I get that there could be things that, the show is setting up and, "Oh, if you watch it again, you'll catch that around on the second time," and stuff, but it's that's gonna be the small drop in this huge
it's not
bucket
worth it.
of things that I am just not enjoying, when I could be watching so many other things.
Yeah, I would definitely, yeah. Again, like I said last night, we watched one episode of Full Metal Alchemist, and I was like, I'm fucking in. I don't even care. This is better than this whole goddamn season. This whole thing that I was forced to watch by you out there, viewers. It's fine. I mean, it's got to happen. We're
It
done.
was bound to happen at
Bake,
some point.
Bakemonogatari. That's how it ends. And we just have one more thing left to do with this anime before we put it away forever, put it on the shelf, and let it collect dust. We got to rate it. We rate it. We rate animes. If this is your first time watching, we rate animes in three different what are they called? Categories: animation, storytelling, and vibes. And then we put it on our brand new board. We have one board now, and it's all of our my thoughts, Matt's thoughts, the viewers' thoughts, all put together, and we rate the anime all together here. So, Matt, animation, what are you giving this anime?
I really wish that this anime had not been in 480p because unfortunately it's getting a really hard shake in that regard where that's really, in my honest estimation, the best thing it had going for it.
Yeah.
But I really can't tell the true potential of this anime because we were hamstrung by our viewing options, to put it quite simply. It had a lot of unique things that it was doing with its presentation style, and it was very unique, and like we've used avant-garde in that regard. So I'm gonna give it a D for animation because it did give me a couple moments of that was pretty cool, that was pretty neat, that made me laugh with a few things that it pulled off with cutaways, and it was doing things unique. So I can acknowledge that, but again, completely hamstrung by just being able to be taken away by the beauty of certain scenes as I'm just trying to squint and make out the jumbled pixels that were being put in front of me. How would you rate the animation?
While I agree with you that it was avant-garde, it was interesting, it looked cool at times, and they were trying something different with all the text going by, flying by at the beginning. How quick it was and everything really, I guess, kept my attention from the plain story that was happening in front of me. It was just too much. It was at times jarring, it was at times confusing, and it was just sporadic enough for me to not enjoy it. And for it to happen maybe once or twice for some cool like moments, I think I would have liked it better that way. but to have every episode have such flashy cutaways, and I did like the introduction of like real people in some of the scenes. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like
Yeah,
we've seen
like
that in the
that's
past.
what I mean when I say the presentation sometimes got a little creative. Yeah.
Yeah, very creative with like them showing an actual person and doing stuff very close to how Monica Magica, which is one of my favorites, did it as well, where there was like humans and other stuff. But like it just was too much. It was a lot. It was just not enjoyable. So I would say like I gave it a C, but D more somewhere in there. It just was too much, and it was just jarring and too sporadic for me to enjoy, and I would have enjoyed it if it was less. I see what you were doing, but I don't want this all the time, and it's just a lot on my eyes. And
I
for
understand the reasoning, but not the sentiment.
sure,
That's the
yes.
Araragi quote. That's the one quote that this show gave me. I understand the reasoning, but not the sentiment.
Yeah, it was a lot. What do you give it on storytelling?
Uh, Storytelling, I'm giving it a big fat D minus F plus, man. This was so incredibly hard to enjoy on so many different aspects, and even though like a reveal or two did have some satisfying elements to it with the what do you call it, the nature of the show and how it was kind of like monster of the weekish, that's
Yeah.
really the only thing that was keeping me from just mm, from really just completely disconnecting with the show in every way, if I'm being honest.
Hmm.
So that's why I'm giving it a F plus D minus in its storytelling. Jules, where do you put the storytelling?
Um, this is a big F, man. I didn't enjoy this. I didn't enjoy this at all, and the times that I thought I could have enjoyed it for a little bit were just out of the water when something weird happened. And we've already discussed it in 3 episodes of what the weirdness I'm talking about is.
Yeah.
It's just not fun, and it wasn't cool, and I don't see the point. I don't get it. And again, we might be missing something completely, but now I just don't think we are. I think it's just
And I'm
you
okay
either
with
like
that.
it, yeah, and I don't want to know. Kind of, these past 2 episodes, I'm like, tell me why it's good. Tell me why this is a good anime. Now at the end, I'm like, I'm good, man. You like it, I don't. Let's just go. Let's just talk about something else.
Yep.
I don't want to have this, 20-minute discussion at the bar where you're yelling into my ear why Bakemonogatari is good. I'm good, man. We're all good. And I'm just like, oh. Um it's an F. I didn't enjoy this. This wasn't fun. The storytelling was not good enough. And like you're saying, the monster of the week could have been cool. And I'm not saying that in the future this style of anime will instantly give an F, because I do like that. And I think it could have been cool. It's just so much of nothing, so much stuff that doesn't matter to me, that has no stakes. And why should I care about it? It did not give me a character I wanted to enjoy and wanted to root for. It didn't. It gave me some cool premises here in how some of these spirits were set up, and I was ready and I was willing, and it just does something that just makes me like, oh man, this sucks. I don't want this. I don't want this in the story for me to watch. So it's an F for me. Vibes, Matt, where's it at?
Yeah, vibes is the big fat F minus for me. I couldn't put the vibes lower. Every I mean, I think for me, I put it best earlier when I said everything that I would be embarrassed to have somebody witness as their like first time around experiencing anime, and then have this be their kind of baseline of what anime is.
Yeah.
I would understand why they would never want to watch another one.
If
Like
you
I
ask
would
if you ask somebody what's your favorite anime and they say Bakemonogatari, I'm just like, whoa, okay, cool. It's a lot.
that was a lot. It made me uncomfortable. It didn't have like an enjoyable soundscape. A lot of the time it was just like the same three piano notes playing. And I mean, yeah, like straight up content warning for just the fact that if you unless you just want a show that's going to give you all the dare types, sexual harassment, incest, and a
It's
masochist protagonist,
it's got it
that's
all,
that's
baby.
that's this show for you.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's why I would put the vibes where I put the vibes. Jules,
Baka.
how would you rate this show's vibes?
Vibes are off, man. It's a big F for me. Not a fan. It's just weird. I'm cool with weird, but it just wasn't for this. This isn't good. I don't like it. I just don't like it. And this is very, these are all subjective. We know this. Whether it's good is based on what we like, and
Yeah.
based on whatever what we don't like
And that's what I
is
mean, like,
based on our.
I can accept this show in the genre that it exists in, but even then, I still feel like I am wholly off put by a lot of things that happen in this show. And I
Hmm.
don't watch it like I guess you would consider this an ecchi. This is my introduction to the ecchi genre. So like again, congratulations. I'm very uncomfortable. Whether or not there are better ones out there, I won't know. I guess I might never know. Who knows?
If
Who
your goal
knows?
was to make Matt uncomfy with this one, then you succeeded. Because yeah, Matt, I know for sure doesn't watch etchy or anything like that. So here it is. Here you go. Big ol' F for me on vibes. The story that was there wasn't great. The edgy stuff that was there wasn't great either. It was just like, okay, cool. Just a whole lot of nothing, big bowl of nothing soup on this anime. And some of you agreed because y'all's were equally as bad as ours on the little list. So if you don't know, in the Discord, I posted where you can vote. We had some votes, and they weren't great either. So totally everybody's votes together. How do we rate Bakemonogatari? Baka Monogatari. It's a big old final grade of bum, bum, ba-dum, wow.
Stamp sound.
Big ol' F. You knew it was coming. If you didn't know it was coming, I don't know what to tell you. Big ol' F for this one. Not a big fan. Do not recommend. Not great. And what a way to kick off season 2 with this brand new list
Oh
here.
boy.
Right at the bottom, a big F for
You
Bakemonogatari.
know what they say about hitting rock bottom. And oh boy, I did not think I could like
Uh,
feel more negatively about a show on our show than I did about Future Diary. But here we are. But here we are.
Hitting new lows in season 2. That's what we're starting off with. I mean, anything would be better than this one for the next
I think
anime. Claire said rating below F required. I guess I'm gonna have to put something under F. I don't know, but F doesn't feel low enough. You got to put it. You know what? I'm gonna take it off the list. No, I'm just not gonna put it on the list. We're gonna
forget
forget these
everything you know.
the Jules Jules
Which-
of Anime Hour lost episodes are these first
oh
three for
my god.
season 2.
The
Um
compilation.
we're done with this anime. Don't have to watch it anymore. Don't have to talk about it at all. Claire says, I think we might be better with descriptive phrases rather than letters. Oh, like this sucked. Instead of F, just put like no thanks or D. Yeah. So
Stress
don't have to talk about it
level.
anymore. Erasing it from my brain. This has been the most tough 3 weeks of watching this anime. But the great thing about it now is we get to pick a brand new anime out of the chest. And here are the anime that we're going to be picking from. I don't know what I want. I know Bakemonogatari is still there. I got to take it off. But
Yeah.
we have a ton of other anime there. And I'm super excited to get into a new one. I don't think I've seen any of these. Um, let's see. I haven't seen any of these.
Things you wouldn't inflict on an enemy.
That's
That's the
good.
one.
That's an F.
That's
I
the
mean,
one.
even my yeah, most feared enemies, I'd be like, bro, just stay away from that, man. These are the anime that we're gonna be picking from for the next 3 weeks. This will be our personalities and Matt. Oh wait, do I have a drum roll? Did I? I did. Next anime.
This Trigun Stampede.
Oh, let's go. Trigun. I've already seen. I do got to revise that. I have seen episode one. I have seen episode in Metro's Monogatari. Yes. Trigun Stampede. We are watching Trigun Stampede. I'm super excited.
I'm pretty sure that was Bubsy that put this one in the
I think it was
chest.
Bubsy or Shelbs because Shelbs said it'll get me to watch it or to finish it or something. So Trigun Stampede. Watch the first 4 episodes. I think there's only 12. Um, well, let's do a little quick math here. Trigun Stampede. We should really write this down. Let me look on Crunchyroll. I'm super excited. 12?
12
Yeah, it's
episodes on
12.
Crunchyroll.
And I did only watch the first episode. So I'm
I've
super
watched
excited.
the first 2 minutes.
Oh, cool. So go ahead and watch. Oh, thank you, Bubsy. Thank you for the 37 months. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank
Oh,
you.
and it was
Shelbs.
shelves.
It was shelved. So Bakemonogatari is done. Trigun Stampede episode 1 through 4 by next Wednesday is when we are going to start talking about that. So watch that, and I'm super excited to continue watching
Yeah,
that.
same.
Um,
I'm excited to watch something else.
yes. Anything else, please, Matt? When you're not watching bad anime, where can they find you?
You could find me on my Twitch at Matt_Galley. Right now, I'm streaming on Thursdays. I've been
Whoa.
super sick, but yeah, we stream on Thursday mornings right now, and you could also follow me on any of my socials. Just add an ITS at the front, make it's Matt_Galley, and when we're not here, given the first F of season 2, where can the people find you?
At Jules the Human, at JULES the Human on all social media, on X, on Instagram, on all the things. And you can find these episodes on youtube.com/Jules the Human as well. And on Spotify. If you look up the Jules and Anime Hour, you can watch that there. You can watch the video versions of those. Also, they gave as I opened the streaming app that we use, they gave us an option to now we can stream on Instagram Live. We can also stream on Facebook. We can stream on a bunch of other platforms, but I don't know if anybody will watch. I can stream on YouTube as well. So we can do the thing live on YouTube as well, but I don't know. That sounds like a whole thing. But
The whole thing.
yeah, it's a whole thing. Find me on Jules the Human on everything, JULES the Human on all social media, and please go watch Trigun Stampede. I would love to talk to you about these anime and all the anime going forward. If you haven't seen it, it's okay. We haven't either, and that's the whole point. We get to share an experience together. You can say, "Man, I love it. Man, I hate it. Man, this was cool." That's the whole point. Come and talk to us on all stuff. You can find Matt regretting the past 3 weeks on Jules the Human on X. Do I kind of want to see you in a goth attire with nibble base? That's what X is, right? No, wrong website. Wrong website. Oh, also, if you're going to the San Antonio AEW Collision, I'll be there. Go come say hi. I'm going to on Saturday again. I'm so excited. But that's been the show. Bakemonogatari is
Yippee!
over. Trigun Stampede 1 through 4 next week, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.